No, Dan is a player's coach, and it's amazing to watch because after the game, the things he says, right? I'm not going to do full spoiler, but he's commenting, because he's been there, right? And even before the game, he talks about how his biggest thing, John, and you sent the clip, I think it was in our group chat in regards to him being like the one thing that's going to Miko sent it.
Yeah.
The one
I want
thing
my credit.
that's going to, okay, Miko sent it. All right. I'm sorry. The Athletic hashtag Woodward Sports hashtag Athletic fight.
Source me. Yeah. Get your sources.
Miko sent it.
Okay. Oh, yes. Get your sources. Accountability and journalism.
I'm not a real journalism. So before the game, he goes, one thing that's going to piss me off is if you are all like, if y'all, first team, if you're done playing and you're looking up in the stands, jerking around, effing off, I'm going to lose it on you. And he freaks out. He goes, we're all good. And everybody starts laughing and immediately like flips the switch of like, we're all good, but like, I'm going to lose it on you, but we're all good. So it's like, okay, it's a flag. But what he says in that moment, he goes, because when I was in Dallas, I was like a 7th-year starter, and Witten, was a 3rd-year starter, right? And all of our tight ends got hurt. And I'm looking at Witten, I'm like, Witten's not going in. Who's going to go in? Of course I'm going to go in. So he's like, I got to lace my shit back up and get ready. He goes, I don't want you guys to do that. Leave all your shit on. Don't do anything. Stay like dressed for the game. And it was interesting because what other coach is going to give you that? Right?
Yeah.
That. And so that little nuance, that little story to me is what will connect these players to Dan even more, because they know that he's been there. They know that he understands. They know that they can trust him in what he's doing. And to Miko's point of all these coaches doing what they're saying they're going to do, then doing it and saying it to them and to the coaches, right? So all of the above, like following the follow through. So that trust, that implicit trust, which is so hard these days in regardless of what, whether you're playing sports or whether you're in a working environment in the working world, trust is so hard to come by. It was, to me, that was the biggest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's just another thing that they're going to trust him, right? Just another way in which the players will trust him.
And again, to your point, not just Dan, right? To go back to Duce.
Yeah, Duce. Yeah, for sure.
Duce has an amazing moment with DeAndre Swift during that preseason game where, if you guys remember back when the game starts, DeAndre has 2 bad runs in the beginning.
Terrible.
And Duce gets after him about it.
Pulls him off the field. Sends Jamal out. He goes, get off the field.
And does exactly what good coaches should do. Good coaches that have a conviction about you is that he's holding DeAndre accountable for everything he does on that field. Every mistake that DeAndre has, Duce has an eye on it because he knows how good DeAndre can be. He even says to him, don't be so focused on trying to make a play. You're going to make a play because you're that good. If you stay disciplined, you're going to make the play regardless. And that's just, again, that's belief. It's hard coaching because he's cussing him out and he's going after him. But these players understand. And I think it does benefit come from the fact that these coaches played. And so even after DeAndre has a great run, Duce gets excited. He's cheering him on from the sidelines. Then DeAndre has his touchdown run. And Duce is still happy, but he still coaches him up in that moment to say, hey, you scored, but you made it harder on yourself than you needed to do. And he shows him on he even puts him in the role of coach, like, coach me up. Tell me what you should have done. And DeAndre, being as smart as he is and as talented as he is able to break down to Duce before he even sees the iPad or the Surface, breaks down what he should have done. And then Duce shows it to him and says, boom, this is where if you had went here, you still would have scored.
It's just inside. He just keeps
saying, you still would have scored. You still would have scored.
John, he just screams inside like 30 times.
And I think it's
everybody. He screams inside to Dan Campbell. Inside. I told you, inside. You got to go inside. Why are you going outside? Why inside? Right, Miko? It's like 30. 20.
He does. He keeps repeating it over and over and over again. And it's go inside and be disciplined. And essentially what Duce is saying in that sense is not just be disciplined to what the run is, because again, there's a reason why DeAndre has the skill set he has, and there's a reason. Like sometimes holes close, and you do have to be able to bounce. You do have to be able to adjust on the fly. But what I believe Duce is saying to DeAndre in that moment is trust every bit of the ability that you have in your body, that you can power through
Right.
whatever defender you think is in front of you. Believe that you can believe you can beat that man. And he even says that to the coaches. He's like, I want DeAndre to believe that if he is one-on-one in a pass route, if he's one-on-one in the open field, he can beat anybody.
Yes. That's exactly what he said to all the coaches. And there's the thing, I think DeAndre Swift needs a little Marshawn Lynch in him. And that's what Duce is trying to instill, right? There's a moment where Swift runs to the outside and lets this guy just push him on a bounce. He's like, you stiff arm him, that's a touchdown. Just stiff arm him and just get aggressive, get that dog. And they're using this like get that dog mentality. And I think that Swift, now here's the thing, I can relate now, not in football, but in regards to soccer. And like for me, it's scary to go one-on-one and to go head-on into contact, into collision, into battle, all of that. It's scary, right? Like I'm gonna get hurt. I've gotten hurt. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go in again. Like and so I think, Miko, to your point of him trying to convince DeAndre to trust his body, right? As we talk about injuries, that's very, very hard to do once you've been injured. So, but once you do it though, once you break through that wall, like once I did it again after I broke my leg, it was fine. After that, like no problem. Okay, just I'll run through people again, no problem. But it's just it's that moment, I think. And I think Duce, if anyone's gonna get DeAndre to where DeAndre's gonna be, it's Duce.